My name is Lynette Mawhinney, and I do various research, most of it being in the qualitative realm, although I have done some quantitative and I'm actually currently doing some quantitative work. Most of my research really revolves around professional life histories of teachers and teachers of color, specifically within the urban sector. And then I've also do some visual work around photo voice.
Oh, cool.
Well, I don't think there's one right method to answer a question, but I think for the type of work that I do, I'm getting really at the concept of teacher voice and valuing teacher voice and being able to get that out into the world in a different way. And so through doing things like life history work, it's getting more of an encompassing picture of who are these teachers, what are their philosophies, what does their professional career trajectory look like? And it's giving them a lot of voice around that. So much so that I've actually done work with pre-service teachers in the past, and I've actually did a book all in their voice. Like there was none of my voice, it was just their voice. So, so for me, because I value voice so much, that's why this method works the best. Although it's certainly a method that takes time because there are longer interviews, because you're covering a span of someone's career or their life.
Mm.
Well, I think what doesn't differ, I'll say first, is the fact that you always want to build rapport with someone. So your first question or two is going to be building rapport, because oftentimes you're talking to people who you don't know. But after that, where it does differ is where in life history we try to talk about it chronologically. So if I want to hear about their own schooling, where they're from, what was that like, I'm going to start there. I'm not going to jump around. So we're almost talking in chronological order, and that also helps with their memory, because as we kind of journey through their life, sometimes it can pop up memories that they didn't think about. But if we were to jump all over the place with building a protocol, I think people would get a little bit lost, and we would get some like lost memories in the process too. So yeah, the first is definitely time. But other than that, I think the other one is resources. So that means a couple of things, right? Now with Zoom and all those other elements, you don't have to drive to someone, and that's money for gas or things of that nature. So technology's made that easier. But once you have them transcribe, once you have them talk, and then you have to do a transcription. So I've done in the past where I've done the transcriptions myself, which takes an enormous amount of hours, and you kind of want to stab a pencil in your eye. So basically, I ship my stuff out to have that transcribed, but that's also costing money and resources. So often I have to find like little grants here and there to be able to fund that. So, so I think it costs more resources versus maybe quantitative research or just having their SPSS and they're be able to run that software. That software program is usually available free to a lot of folks at universities. So it's kind of like less resources are needed for that. Well, if teachers are looking to do this, especially when it comes to action research or teacher research in any way like that, this method is hard. It works really well with other teachers. So it's going to not work maybe as well with your students because you have a power dynamic. So you might not get those honest answers from students, but with other teachers, I found it to be, because I've taught teacher research classes before, and it's been enlightening for my students who are doing this kind of research, because they were able to sit down and have a one-on-one with a colleague and get some insight that they didn't think about or know about, whether it's concerning them or approaches in the classroom or other students or things of that nature. So it's really beneficial in that way. So it's really awesome with this type of work is at the end of it, you always feel really close to these people because you have built this rapport, you sat there and listened and really like are partaking in hearing their story. And oftentimes I think teachers are just not heard. So even just to have a moment to sit down with someone for a few hours and share their thoughts is pretty empowering. So I think it's a really empowering approach compared to just giving someone a survey.
Excellent.